Hello, 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 Russell. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. And you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Just getting started here. Let's see. Um, Thinking streaming. All right. Alrighty. Okay, so just waiting for a couple folks to hop in here. We'll get started. Oops. Alrighty. So, gorgeous day in Houston today. Not sure where you're at or if you're in Houston, but we had some pretty nasty weather over the weekend. It went from like beautiful 70-degree weather to the 40s and horrible wind. Uh, actually was out camping up at Lake Somerville in Texas here over the weekend with rain and 30 to 40 mile an hour gusting winds. So that was interesting. But now it's gorgeous out, sun is shining, so hope everybody's enjoying the nice, beautiful weather today. Hi, Robert. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How you doing?
Not bad.
Glad to have you join.
Thank you.
Where are you located?
I am in Houston, Texas, in actually northwest Houston.
Oh, okay. Getting some summer sunny weather too, I guess then.
Finally, yeah, we're supposed
Yeah,
to have a week of it. Go figure, right? It's
yeah, it's
about time.
great. All right, so I think we're just gonna get started here. Looks like we're streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, and a couple of folks have jumped in. So um, I'm gonna share my screen, and we will talk a little bit about websites and SEO and how to turn your website into a lead machine. All right, can you see my screen? Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see my screen. You should be able to see it now. Awesome. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Russell. Very good. Okie dokie. So, how to turn your website into a lead machine with SEO. Uh, Sorry, how do I turn the page? There we go. All right. So, the first thing to ask yourself is just about your website itself. Is it actually helping your business grow, or could it be quietly hurting you? A lot of people think of their website as just sort of this brochure where they need to make sure that it says everything that they do. And, um, they just hope that people find it and hope that people read it. But, is it really reflective of your business? Is it really helping you? Is it helping you grow, or is it kind of quietly hurting you? And the important thing to remember with websites is if it's good for your customer, it's good for Google. So, SEO is not just about sort of stuffing blog posts full of keywords. It's not about just, you know, stuffing your services pages full of keywords. It's not about what we call black hat tactics, which is basically just doing stuff to kind of game the system with Google. It's important to remember that if it's good for your customers, it's probably good for Google too. So making it useful for your customers, giving your customers a good user experience, a good visitor experience, and helping them be able to find what they need is going to also help Google find what it needs or find what you want Google to find to be able to help you rank and help your website be able to be found. I'm Laura Camrath. I'm the CEO of Zebra Marketing, and we help tech businesses grow faster with smarter digital marketing systems. And today we're going to talk about just how to get your site found, seen, and trusted. Because part of SEO is just, is this a trusted source? We have what we call domain authority, is just sort of how much does Google trust this site? How much do people does Google feel like people seem to trust this site? And so part of it is just making the site useful, like I said, for your customers, making Google feel like, well, I mean, Google doesn't feel, but, making it apparent to Google that people trust your site, people want to use your site for the things that you want them to be using it for. And, there's things that we can do to get your site found, seen, and trusted, not just by Google, but by your customers as well. So this is a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. First, how to know if your site is helping or hurting your business. And then what local SEO actually really is and why it's critical for MSPs, also IT businesses of any kind, cybersecurity companies, really any kind of business can benefit from SEO. And then the easy fixes that can make a real impact, even if you're low on budget. And then how to decide if you need a full redesign of your website without overthinking it, or perhaps there's some quick fixes that you could do to your website to just improve your ability to rank and also possibly your usefulness to customers or prospective customers who are coming to your website. Not sure what this is. Oh, that's weird. Huh, okay. So is your website helping or hurting is the first question. And a simple test you can do, just pull up your homepage and ask yourself in 5 seconds or less, can someone tell who you are, what you do, who you serve, and what action to take next? Because the thing is, if you don't call out who you serve, people just sort of zone out. They think, oh, well, this isn't for me. So, there's always business owners who I talk to who they're like, well, I don't want to be too specific about who I serve because I don't want to exclude people. Well, the truth is that even if you call out who you serve, you're still not going to exclude people because if people want to work with you, they're going to call you. Um, but the people who you do really want to work with, they're going to hear you. So, if you primarily work with hospitals, or I don't know what they would be called, like, I don't know. Say you're working with like the operations manager of a hospital or something. Um, and you're like, well, I'm a little too afraid to say that on my website because what if somebody from the I don't know, the food services industry wants to work with me. Well, if they hear about you and people recommend you and they say that you're good, the food services guy is still going to come and give you a call. So don't be too afraid about calling out who you serve. And the other thing is, what should they do? What action should they take next? In marketing speak, we call this a call to action, or they call it a CTA. But just like when you are shampooing your hair in the shower and you look at the bottle and it gives you step-by-step instructions of how to shampoo your hair. It's not like you don't know how to shampoo your hair, but you're standing there in the shower reading the instructions. Why? because people like to be told what to do. And even when it comes to your business, the less that you make your customer think, the better. So if you can just tell them what to do next, you're going to probably get some, a better level of conversions, or you're going to get more leads from your website if you just tell them what to do. So is what to do schedule a consultation call? Is it take our quick quiz to find out where you stand in terms of your need for our services? Is it um, fill out our form and we'll send you a quote? What is that next step? What is a conversion for you? And what is it that you want to ask them to do? Because I will give you a hint, nobody wants to call you anymore. People just like the last thing they want to do right now, for whatever reason, we've all become so dependent on phones and email and social media. We're just so used to like instant text messaging that if you say, hey, give me a call or just call our number, people are like, well, oh, that's too much. So people just they want to be able to make their own decisions, and they want to be able to get usually as far as they possibly can on their own without having to talk to someone. So how can you make it really easy for them to engage with you, to uh, take that action, take that next step, whatever it is that you're asking them to do? And the other thing I would recommend is that these things should be what we call above the fold. And above the fold is a newspaper era term, but it means, when you go to a website, you land on something that is what we call above the fold. Whatever you see first without having to scroll anywhere is above the fold. So having these four things, who you are, what you do, who you serve, and what action to take next, above the fold can really help, because as you see here, it says 5 seconds or less. So people these days, they have the attention span of a goldfish. So imagine a goldfish visiting your website, and how can you get that goldfish to take action? People's attention span these days is so very short because we have busy lives. We have so much going on online. We're constantly being bombarded with stuff. If you don't make it clear who you are, what you do, who you serve, and what they should do next, very quickly, within 5 seconds, they may be gone. They may do what we call bounce, which is just as soon as they hit your website, they turn around and leave because they didn't see what they were looking for. So you want them, when they land on your site, you want them to immediately say, yes, I'm in the right place. This is what I'm looking for. So some common red flags to think about when it comes to your website is having too much jargon, very technical words. To you, your technical jargon may be very clear because you know what it means. But things like acronyms, things like very specific industry terms, not everyone who lands on your website may be of your level of knowledge of what you do. So, you may know all kinds of technical stuff, but your customer may not. Customers are focused on results. They want to just know that, they have a problem and you have a solution. And they want to be able to see clearly that solution, that future where their problem is solved. And they also want to believe that you're the right people to solve it for them. But they don't always necessarily want to know every little detail about how it's going to get done. So, they want to know it's going to get done. So paint that picture of the happily ever after. Show them testimonials of people who have had that problem solved and been happy. Show them, the things that they need to believe, your credentials. Show them the what we call reasons to believe. So they want to know that you're going to solve the problem, and they want to believe and trust that you're really going to do what you say you're going to do. So, pay attention to adding your testimonials, adding case studies, credibility badges. If you have certifications that show that you're qualified to do what you do, those things, add them to your homepage. If your website is loading too slowly, that's a red flag, because if it takes 5 seconds for your site to load, guess what? The visitor has turned around, they've bounced, they're gone. Just because nobody wants to sit there waiting for a website to load, especially these days, where we want that instant gratification. If we're sitting there waiting for it to load, we just very quickly assume that something is wrong and we go back. Um, so make sure that your website's loading quickly, 2 to 3 seconds, and make sure that, because if you only have 5 seconds to get them to pay attention and take action, then the faster your site loads, the more time you have to get their attention. And then also, if your website looks outdated or is outdated, if it no longer accurately reflects what you do, then maybe it's time for a redesign or time to make some changes. But do pay attention to, making sure your website accurately reflects what you do and doesn't look outdated. Um, you know, it's easy to think, I've redesigned websites for companies who've had their website for 9 years, and they're like, well, there's nothing wrong with it. And it's like, well, yeah, but people can tell that it's really old. Because technology evolves, and the way that websites look evolves, and the features on websites evolve, and the way we build them evolves. And so, it can just make, think of it as like the business suit that you're wearing to an interview. It's the first impression. If people come to your website and it looks outdated, they're going to assume automatically that your company is outdated. And so you don't want that. You want people to think, oh, these guys look modern and they look uh, ready to go and with it. And uh, this is a real nice, crisp business suit. So, all right. So, another quick win that I wanted to mention is pay attention to your headline and make sure that it's benefit driven. And make sure it doesn't say something like we're the best. Because, we can call ourselves the best all day long, but it's much more impactful coming from your customers than it is coming from you. So, instead of welcome to ABC IT, try something more like managed IT support for Houston businesses, fast, reliable, local. Something that tells them what you do, who you do it for, and what the benefit's going to be to them. And just having that alone just makes it more impactful. People immediately know why they should stick around. And then what is local SEO? So, we have different kinds of SEO. We have on page, we have off page, we have local SEO. So local is how you show up when someone searches something like IT support near me, or like IT support Houston, Texas, or cybersecurity help Houston. It's all about being found by local, high intent customers. So I'm sure you've all gone to Google and you've searched something like Starbucks, and over here on the right, you get this little doohickey that shows you, you know, the company name, a little thing about them, the details here. These guys, because they're Starbucks, they've got, the CEO, the CFO, the CMO, their customer service phone number. And if you go to the individual ones, you'll get, say we go to this guy, you're gonna get the actual website and the phone number and a share, and there's actually an option even to be able to chat in now. You can get their menu. I mean, you don't probably need that as an IT service provider or tech company, but and down here you also get updates. You can post pictures. Even, any type of business can post here, kind of like a social media post. And and then you can get reviews, which of course, people want to do what they see other people doing successfully. So reviews do matter. And more people go to Google to look a company up to see, well, do they have good reviews? Do other people have good experiences with this company? Because if they're not having good experiences, then they would like to save themselves the trouble. So, paying attention to actually like getting reviews from your happy customers, reaching out to those happy customers and after you've had a good experience, they've had a good experience with you and saying, "Hey, here's my link to my Google business profile. Would you, we thrive on reviews. Would you be so kind as to give us a review?" Actually paying attention to that because I see, a lot of companies, they just sort of hope and pray that people go and review them, but actually ask for the review. And having good reviews can help you with your Google rankings as well. If you have a lot of good reviews on here, then Google starts to say, oh, well, lots of people seem to like this company. This company seems very popular. And when they're looking for what you do, this is probably what they're looking for. And so it helps you show up. And, here's all these pictures. So you also can add posts. Even as a business to business company, you can put your own posts in here. You can post pictures of your staff. You can post pictures of your location. You can post pictures of your clients, maybe get their permission. But, you can really use this to help yourself build up your local business presence. So what does local SEO include? It includes Google Business Profile setup and optimization. It includes local citations or directories with your NAP info. NAP is like your name, address, and phone number. It includes geotagged content and service pages. So just, locating you to where your business is located. Just like here, Starbucks, here we go. Here they are with their address, their phone, their company name. So, you want to make sure that you do pay attention to that. And this is why it matters because 73% of people who do a local search visit a business within 24 hours. But only 44% of businesses even optimize their Google business profile. And that's a huge missed opportunity for MSPs. If people are going to Google and they're doing a local search for businesses like yours, but your Google business profile isn't completed or is crummy or is not kept current or recent, then it's just a big missed opportunity of something that you could be doing to just get more business. And so there's some easy budget friendly fixes that make a real impact. You don't always need a full redesign. Sometimes you just need some tweaks. It depends on your situation. If your website's 9 years old and doesn't really reflect what you do anymore, maybe you probably need a full redesign. Even at like 3 to 4 years old, like your website may need a redesign because, like I said, the technology evolves very quickly and, people can tell when the website's outdated. And especially as your business grows, if there's a lot of stuff on your site that's just like, oh, we don't really do that anymore, or oh, we do all of this other stuff now, or we've added these people, if there's just so many changes to, updates that you might need to make, it might be a good idea just to redesign your site. But you want to pay attention to faster load speeds. Like I said, if you only have 5 seconds to really grab someone's attention and 3 of those are spent loading your website, now you only have 2 seconds. You want a fast loading website. And so speed is important. Mobile responsiveness, something like 80% or more of searches are now done on a mobile device. Even in a B2B setting, we're all here on our phones looking everything up. And if your website's not mobile friendly, then, people are sitting there like pinching in and out, and nobody likes to do that. That is not fun. So make sure your website's mobile responsive. Basic SEO tweaks, stuff like meta titles, alt tags, content that matches search intent. Meta titles, alt tags, these are like technical fixes that we can do on the back end that can basically just like teach Google, or just it's like meant for Google to be able to just have more context about what your website's about. And then content that matches search intent. So if somebody searches cloud IT services, and then it goes to a page about Azure or something, you're the what they searched and what the page talked about that they went to didn't match. And so that is a problem because, obviously if you're searching for uh Crocs. I don't know, this is just a crazy example, but like, if somebody's shopping and they're searching for Crocs and they click the page looking for Crocs and it goes to a page about Nikes, that's not what they searched for. They're going to bounce. Obviously, they're going to be like, that's not what I was looking for. So just making sure that when they do a search, that whatever they search matches the content where they end up. Google Business Profile Optimization, like we just talked about, just making sure that your Google Business Profile is filled out, is you first of all have one, it's created, it's current, um, it's updated. Like I said, you can make posts to it on a regular basis. You can optimize it. You can you know, ask for reviews. And there's all these things that you can do. You can make sure that your social profiles are shared to it. There's you can make sure that you're shared out to local directories. There's so many things that you can do to optimize your Google Business Profile. And that's a really important thing to do, especially if your business is local. And then testimonials are case studies that build trust, because people like to do what they see other people doing successfully. And, it's a lot easier for them to believe another customer who had a good experience than it is for them to believe you telling them that you're really great and that you're the best. So, make sure you pay attention to that as well. So some tools that could be useful for you in SEO is GT metrics for speed, Google page speed insights just to check, hey, is my website loading fast enough? Um, page speed insights, you basically just go here, you I don't know, say we enter, just enter starbucks.com. It's just gonna give you like a rundown of how fast your website is loading. They're getting green marks all across the board, I'm sure, because they're Starbucks. But it's the largest contentful paint. It's basically just telling you like how long is it taking until somebody can actually read this or actually see it. Um, and it's giving you some. It's telling you mobile. It's telling you desktop because that it can be different. And then overall they're getting a score of 93. So, this can be helpful just to see, like, if you're getting like red marks across the board, if you're in this like red zone, ooh, maybe you need to pay attention to your load speed. Um, and then Uber Suggest and Keywords Everywhere are good for, determining which keywords are the most search keywords to help you build content around. Um, And, this is basically content. This is a keyword research. So you want to know, like, hey, what keywords are people searching when they're looking for a business like mine or services like I provide? And the other thing is how many times is that keyword being searched and how difficult is it to rank for that keyword? So, for example, personal injury attorneys, that industry is extremely competitive for SEO keywords because, I mean, think about if you can rank number one for personal injury Houston or personal injury attorney Houston or something, then probably you're going to get a ton of traffic because people are just going to go online. They're going to say personal injury attorney Houston. But because every attorney in Houston wants to rank for that keyword, it's going to drive the cost up to probably hundreds of dollars. Um, if you're trying to rank for some, IT related keywords, maybe it's probably not going to be hundreds of dollars. But you can pay attention to, um, the just the keyword. Well, yeah, I mean that's like for paid traffic, but you can pay attention basically to the competitiveness level of the keyword and how many times it's being searched because if it's a not very competitive keyword that is relevant to what you do and it has a lot of searches and you can get yourself ranking for it, that's going to help your business. So, these tools just help you sort of do some research to determine which are the best keywords to build content around that could be found on your website. Um, Another tool that I think is really super cool, and I talk a lot about AI and automation. Search Atlas is a new tool that is basically an AI enabled SEO tool. So a lot of people, used to use like SEMrush and do it mostly manually where pretty much you have to know what to do next and then go do it. Whereas Search Atlas and Auto plugin pretty much lets you put a plugin into your website and the plugin's going to tell you, okay, do this next. Okay, do this next. Um, and this does take some getting used to. Like it does take some learning to be able to use this. But if you really do want to try and use your own SEO, this could, or I mean, do your own SEO, this could be a good solution. And I can drop this link in the chat. I have the oh, this is my affiliate link, so I get a little tiny commission if somebody subscribes through that. But I really do love auto Search Atlas and the Auto SEO plugin. They've also just come out with SEO, I mean with AI Google ads, which, if you want to run Google ads and you don't really have a lot of background in how to do that, it's just going to help walk you through and make it much easier. So really love Search Atlas, call out to them. Um, all right. So, and the other thing to remember is done is better than perfect. And like what we like to say in digital marketing is version one is better than version done. So, SEOs are very kind of can be very technical and there's a lot of stuff that you can do. The goal is to just start getting leads, not obsess over every single little nitty-gritty thing. And the thing about SEO is it's an ongoing thing. I like to talk about it being like you're going to the gym. You don't go to the gym one time and come out with giant muscles and your beach body. Like you have to go to the gym over and over again. And the more times you go to the gym, like the more time you spend at the gym, the faster you're probably going to get your beach body. But if you like binge on pizza one night and drink a bunch of beer, your beach body doesn't just automatically disappear. SEO kind of sticks around, even if, oh, this month I wasn't able to get to it. It's not going to disappear. But it is an ongoing process. And it is something that you want to, put some concerted effort into over time, taking the actions. Everything doesn't have to be done all at once. It's an iterative process. It's about continuing the activities month over month until you start to build rankings organically. We call organically means without paying an ad budget. So, Google's just finding your website when people search for the thing, people are finding you through Google when they search for what you want them to find you for. So, how do you know if you need a website redesign? Um, so without overthinking it, if your site is over 4 years old and hasn't been updated, or maybe even if it has been updated, it might be time for a redesign. If it's not mobile responsive, if you're not ranking and you're not getting inbound leads through your website, maybe it needs a redesign or at least to have it looked at to see what could be the reason. And then if it feels visually outdated or just doesn't reflect your current services, definitely might be a good idea to think about a redesign. So sometimes a few smart upgrades and on-page SEO can hold you over, but if your site really doesn't reflect your value, if it's repelling clients before you even get a chance to talk to them, if they're bouncing, maybe it might be time for a redesign. And then the other thing is, there's some tools that you can use for heat mapping that, oh, now I'm blanking on the name. But heat mapping is basically where you can install a program that tracks, well, what do people do when they get to my website? Are they finding what they need to quickly? Are they getting frustrated? Like it'll actually show you when like somebody was like scrolling around because they were getting pissed off. Are they clicking the things you want them to click? Uh, how are they using the website? Like you can find all of these things. Oh, it's called Hotjar. There's one called Hotjar, and there's a free version that you can try out. Um, Hotjar. Um, you know, well, and right up at the top we have Hotjar Alternative. But Hotjar's kind of been around for a while. And it gives you some analytics, it gives you some data. You can get the paid version, gives you a lot more data. But if you're wondering like, hey, are people able to find what they're looking for? Is this working well? Are uh, people getting frustrated on my site? How can I make it better? I think something like Hotjar can be interesting. Here's kind of how it shows up. It gives you little like heat spots where the people are clicking or scrolling. So, if you're not getting leads through your website, and definitely install Google Analytics so you can take a look at, how many visitors are you getting, who's going to which page, how many people are going to which page, what are the demographics of the people, where are they coming from, questions like that. And then I am offering today a free website and SEO visibility audit, and I'm making 5 available this week. If you would like to take advantage of that, I'm gonna uh, help people just understand better what your site needs, what it doesn't need. No obligation. We will do this completely complimentary for you. If it makes sense then for you that you would like to proceed with some services with us, then we can discuss that. If not, that's perfectly fine as well. Um, so what you will get is a performance breakdown of your website. We're gonna do a local SEO visibility check, and we're gonna put together a simple roadmap of what we recommend to fix and in what order for you to start getting better results from your website. And so if you would like to take advantage of that, I'll drop this link in the chat. It's just yeah, I just copy. Oh, it's just zebra.live/book a call. So if you're watching this on the live stream, oops, I don't know. It's highlighting itself and it won't go away. um, Here is the link. I've just dropped it in the chat. We could just hop on a call. I'll learn a little bit more about your business and we'll get some information from you, your website, your competitors, the things that maybe you have tried or haven't tried. And oh, we've got somebody hopping in. And hi Morad, welcome. Morad, sorry you missed quite a bit already, but I was just offering, I'm offering a free website and SEO visibility audit. Um, and we're just going to go through your website, go through your SEO and take a look at, you know, how your website's performing, how your local SEO and SEO in general is performing, and then give you a simple roadmap of what you might want to do in order to improve your site. And I just dropped the link in the chat is just to book a call. Zebra.live/book a call, and would love to hop on with you and just give you some more information about how your site's performing and what could be done to help you improve your SEO rankings and just get more out of your website, get more leads, and boost your business, grow your business, and use your website, not just as a pretty brochure, but as a marketing tool. So with that, does anyone have questions? If you have a question, feel free to just hop off mute and just go ahead and ask your question.
What else can you tell me about Search Atlas and how does it work?
Oh, well, so Search Atlas was developed by a company called Link Graph, and they were an SEO agency and basically developed it for their own personal use. And basically went crazy with data on the back end and really studying like what is it that makes uh, a website rank and experimenting, if we do this, does it improve? If we do this, does it improve? So really sort of they did a lot of experimenting and built this tool for themselves. And then they said, hey, this is a really cool tool. Maybe we should sell it. So now you can actually subscribe and use it yourself. The the auto plugin is really cool, I think, for people who aren't super familiar with SEO. You can sort of put the plugin in and sort of follow directions and, basically do SEO for your own business. Um, like, if you don't know anything about SEO, maybe it could still be a little challenging. But Um, the other thing is they have like keyword mapping. So, the other part of SEO is adding relevant recent content to your website with the keywords that you want to be ranking for. So, it can help you rewrite pages of your website that you want to rank for, say you're trying to rank for cloud computing and that isn't showing, you're not ranking for that, but you have a page for it, or maybe you need to add a page for it so that you can rank for it. You can actually build like content maps. So you could add the keyword cloud computing, and then it's going to basically branch out and show you like all of the sort of umbrella of similar relevant keywords that could be useful for you. And then you can actually write content with their AI content writing tool you can actually write long form blog posts, like, 15 minutes to build like, maybe over 1,000-page blog post with AI images and all kinds of stuff, which is pretty neat. Um, the only thing is like Google is starting to pay attention to AI generated content and is like downgrading it a little bit. So, while I think that's an amazing feature, then, maybe it's not, maybe you don't want to have like all of your content AI written. So, but that being said, I think it's a really cool tool with, AI enabled SEO tool. Um, and yeah. I don't know. I really like it. I'm really impressed by it. But I don't know that it's, I don't know that 100% replace, it doesn't replace somebody who understands SEO, because it's still giving you the tools. But, just like with any tool, you can give somebody a hammer and tell them to build a house, and one person knows how to build a house and they can use that hammer really, really well. The other person doesn't, and even though they have the same hammer, they can't build a house. So, um, I think it's a really good tool and it's really useful, but uh, not the end all be all of SEO. It's just a really neat tool that I think can help a lot. So, anyone else? Hi, Rosalind. Thanks for joining. Um, we're kind of at the end now. Uh, Murad, do you have any questions? You kind of hopped in late, and Rosalind. Um, we can go back through some things if you have specific questions. No? Um, so we were talking about, let's see. So I did offer the SEO website and SEO visibility audit. Talked about redesigning websites and, some of the tools that you could use. We had like, let me just go back and share. We talked about GT metrics for speed and Google Page Speed Insights, which was here, just where you can get a sort of rundown of how fast your website's loading, because you want your website to load as fast as possible, so you can be able to reach people and capture their interest before they turn around and bounce. People's attention span, as I mentioned, is very, very small, like the attention span of a goldfish. So, you really want to make sure that your website's loading fast and that they get what they need to as quickly as possible. Ubersuggest and Keywords Everywhere are good keyword research tools that you can use. And also the Google business profile, making sure your business has one, that it's fully completed, that it's set up, that it's something that people can use. And if you don't know what that is, here's the Google business profile of Starbucks. It just looks like this. You can ask people to review you, because that does help with your rankings. And you can also post here and add updates from your business. So that's really a good idea, especially if your business is local. And yeah, so then we talked about just making sure your headline is benefit driven. So instead of like welcome to ABC IT, it could be something more like managed IT support for Houston businesses, fast, reliable, and local. Yeah. And how to know if you need to redesign your website, paying attention to if it has too much jargon, no clear calls to action, loading slowly or if it looks outdated, if it doesn't build trust with testimonials or credibility. So, and that's pretty much, most of what we talked about today. Do you have any questions, Rosalind? No? Well, on that note, if that's about it for you, then I think I'm going to hop off here. We're gonna be live here every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and would love for you to join next week. So I will see you then. Again, my name's Laura Camrath. I help IT, cybersecurity, and tech companies to grow their business, build a modern digital marketing system with the help of AI and automation. And I would love to have a chat with you. If you go to zebra.live, zbra.live/book a call, you can schedule a call with us. And I'd love to talk with you more about your business. All right. Have a great week and